Every now and again, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's good for us to have our perspectives challenged. I think it's good for us to have completely new paradigms presented to us. I think it's good to have our assumptions assaulted and our beliefs questioned. And I wonder sometimes why, if the real work of the school system is true education, why they're not involved in true education and why it seems that they are mainly involved in indoctrination. I'm here, of course, as a former 20-year Pentecostal evangelist with two of the largest denominations, three of the largest denominations in the world. I'm here as a Bible college graduate. I'm here as a 6-year Air Force veteran. I'm here as someone with 100,000 hours of studying the biblical text to bring to you evidence that I believe shows that Christianity is a fear and guilt based matrix, and that you are probably suffering from Stockholm syndrome. And one of the reasons is because you never have your paradigms challenged. One of the reasons is you never have your assumptions challenged. And one of the reasons is that we never, ever look at things from a different perspective. Let's look at something as simple as the shape of the world. Something as simple as the shape of the world. And no, this is not a flat earth debate, but something just as simple as the shape of the world map that we see. This is the common world map that we see. And we look at this and we think, oh, this is what the relative size of these countries are. This is what the relative position of these countries are. But there's things that we have not been told about this map. Did you know that Greenland is pictured 9 times the size that it actually is? You see Greenland, you see Africa, they're about the same size, right? Well, actually, even though they're about the same size on the map, that's their real relative size. That's a real relative size of Greenland and Africa. It's very, very highly distorted. Now, somebody would ask why. Well, it's not really because it's a conspiracy. It's not really because it's an attempt to blatantly misinform us. The reason is that the only way to get a real perspective on how large countries are, land masses are, and of their actual true position is to look on a globe. Now, I know that our flat earth friends say the reason the globe is in every classroom is to fuel the distraction. The reality is the reason that a globe is in every classroom is because that's the only way to really get the true size, the true perspective, the true shape of the planet Earth. Because when you take the Earth, the round Earth, and put it on a flat surface, any flat surface, you morph, you change, you warp the appearance of the landmass. I'm not going to teach you a lesson on how to do this, but basically you have one of two choices. If you elect, when putting a round Earth on a flat map, if you elect to keep the shape of the countries relatively intact, then you lose size perspective. Greenland is very much as it appears in reality as to its shape, but it's 9 times larger than it should appear due to the mathematical requirements, due to the perspective requirements of putting it on a flat piece of paper versus a round globe. Russia's another good example. There's many examples of size and shape of land masses being warped when transferred from a globe to a flat map. Now, if you decide to keep the shapes intact, you sacrifice size. If you decided to keep the sizes intact, the shape of these countries would be way out of whack. So most of the time, they err towards the shape being accurate versus the size. So what you're looking at here, ladies and gentlemen, are maps that have accurate shapes of land masses, but wildly inaccurate sizes of land masses. Now, I'm not saying that's a conspiracy. I'm not saying that that is a disservice to us, but what I am saying is, why weren't we ever told this? Why does it have to be a crazy ex-Pentecostal evangelist turned Christian whistleblower to point out to you that Greenland is 9 times its size when illustrated on a flat map versus its actual real size on a globe? And with all apologies to my flat earth friends whose scholarship and whose intrepidity I respect, ladies and gentlemen, you can't get a true representation of what the earth looks like with true size, with true shape, with true perspective on a flat surface, which would include, I'm afraid, my friends, a flat earth. It doesn't look right. It can't be made to look right on a flat surface. The mathematics demand a sphere for the shape, for the size, and for the perspective to be accurate. But that's not the focus of this program. The focus of this program is, why have we never been told that Greenland was 9, 10 times its original size, its true size, when on a globe? Why aren't we told that Russia is much larger than it is on the actual globe? Why weren't we told? If the job of the educational system is to educate, they would tell us, but therein lies the rub, ladies and gentlemen, because the job of the educational system is not to educate, it's to indoctrinate. And I'm here to help you unindoctrinate yourself. There's a place called, I think it's called What Size Is It? What size is it? I think it's called What Size Is It? It's a website. Oh, the true size of the website. It's called The True Size Of. Go to this website and click on something. Like if you see this, you can click on it and you can drag it, and it'll show you the true size of things compared to the true size of other things. It is amazing. You'll be able to see these things. You'll be able to see these fallacies as you search, as you look, and as you see. Look at that, India compared to Greenland. It doesn't look that way on the map, ladies and gentlemen, but that's the way it really is. So go to this, thetruesize.com, play around with it, and see what you've not been told. See what's been hidden from you. But guess what, folks? There's more. Something else I want to show you. Something else I want to show you. Something else I want to challenge you with. And that is what's called a south up map. Now, Earth is a sphere. There's no real up. There's no real down. So why is the Earth always shown the way we're used to seeing it? Let's just put on here world map again. World map. This is what we're used to seeing. This is what we always see. Could it be the reason we always see it is because the United States is to the upper left with everything else to the right of it? It's on top. It's to the left. It's in the place of greatest respect. Why don't we ever see a south up world map like this one with the United States on the bottom right? This is just as accurate as this. This is just as real as this. This is just as right as this. So why don't we ever see this? Why isn't this hanging in any of your classrooms? Why isn't this printed in any of your books? Why isn't this displayed anywhere? Could it be because of a prejudice towards these countries and a prejudice against these countries? I'm just suggesting. But ladies and gentlemen, this is what the world really looks like. As much as the other map, it's just as accurate. So why don't we see a South Up world ever? And I think it's very helpful for us to see a South Up world. Consider a world with South America, Australia, and Africa at the top. Consider a world with the US and Canada, Russia, the UK at the bottom. Think about it, ladies and gentlemen. And if you really think about it, this is almost a true representation of where human population started and migrated to, sort of. So why don't you see a South Up map? Twitter, Facebook, Periscope. Why don't you ever see a South Up map? YouTube. And why don't you ever see, and why aren't you ever told that that's 9 times the size it's supposed to be? That that's way bigger than it's supposed to be. And that the world doesn't really look like this, because it actually looks like that. Something to consider from Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian whistleblower. Something to ponder as you consider, as you guide your own spirit, as you master your own ascension, as you be your own guru, as you ask questions and question answers, and as you unindoctrinate yourself.